Uh, First of all, I'm glad to see everybody after hopefully a restful and safe summer. It's good to be back and to see everyone here. Just so we can go through and make sure everybody knows who's here. Let's go and do another round of introductions. Starting myself, Jason Washington with PGCPS, and the first on my screen is Hazel.
Oh, yes. Good morning, everyone. Hazel Robinson, president of the Tantalum Alliance for Greater County Transparency, and also president of Tantalum Square Area Civic Association and Homeowners Association.
I see Miss Downs.
You're on mute, Mary.
You're still on mute.
Okay, Mary, I got it. Mary Downs, Vice President of Tantalum Citizens Association, and someone who has property on Swat Creek Road.
Perfect. Carter.
Hi, I'm Carter Farrington. I'm president of the Tantalum Citizens Association, which includes the neighborhoods of Tantalum Hills and Tantalum on the Potomac.
Sandra.
Good morning, Sandra Hall, a member of the board member of the Tantalum Area Square Civic Association, serving under Hazel Robinson. Thank you.
Michelle.
Good morning, Michelle Johnson, a resident of Tantalum South.
Mr. Jones, Herb Jones.
Yes, good morning. Herb Jones, President of Tantalum North Area Civic Association and member of the Alliance for Greater County Transparency. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Now, Mr. Cunningham.
Good morning, everyone. Gary Cunningham, Director of Safety and Security for the Prince George's County Public School System.
And Philip.
Good morning, everybody. Philip Hughes, Risk Manager for Prince George's County Public Schools.
And then Jose, you can introduce yourself, sir.
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Jose Lopez from Braceboro and Dunlopy. I'm working with PGCPS on the P3 projects. I'm replacing Kate. She has moved on to other things. Nice to meet everyone.
I think Ron Kaufman.
Yes, good morning, everyone. This is Ron Kaufman, Prince George's County Public Schools. I'm a supervisor, and I'm working with Jason Washington.
Erica.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Erica Evans. I'm Jason Washington's assistant with Prince George's County Public Schools.
And Brittany.
Morning, everyone. My name is Brittany Bennett. I'm also with Brailsford and Dunleavy, just like Jose, working with Blueprint Schools and Prince George's County Department of Capital Programs with communications.
And Mr. Mike Ricketts.
Good morning, everybody. Again, I'm Mike Ricketts. I'm with Gilbane Building Company, and I'm the program director for the design builder on this project.
Perfect. Well, thanks, everybody. Like I said, it's good to see everyone back, and we can jump right into our discussion today. The first, hold on, I'm trying to find the easiest way to share this agenda with everybody. Just a second.
Oh, Jason, we have a couple of people who are going to be late.
Okay.
Like, to Lawrence Holmes and Francis Henry.
Okay. As soon as I see them, I will have them jump on. And what is going on with I can't find my share. Oh, there it is. And starting off, I will turn it to Jose to provide just a progress report, as well as a 30-day look ahead of work that's going to be taking place at the site.
Sorry, I was in mute. Yes, a quick update on the project. Right now, curbing gutters in the parking lot located on the west side of the site of the building that has started. That's ongoing as well. The subcontractor will start working on the 4 Washington entrance, adding more gravel. And then on the softball fields, working towards the soccer fields, they started installing compost. And then also pavement is, the goal is on the parking lot to start pavement in end of September. And then on the exterior of the buildings, on the east side of the building, they're finishing up with wall panels. You will be seeing the exterior now taking form. They'll move up to the north side. They're just putting some prepping for the panels. And then on the south side of the building, they're gonna start doing girts. Roofing, they will start, some of the roofing has been ongoing. The one that's, the main goal is the 4-story tower. That roofing will start in last week of September. The goal is to have the building water, so water would stop coming in with all the rain and then upcoming snow that we may get this winter. So the goal is to close in the building the sooner the better. Inside, ongoing is interior studs, also roughing MEPs overhead and also in the walls. Right now, they've started inspections. The first area that they started inspection was in the cafeteria. And this means like it's a process of once the studs are up and MEP roughing is up, they're allowed to put drywall in. They do one-sided drywall first, and then they get that inspected. That's the routine for interiors. Fireproofing, things have been going along on the 4th-story tower. And then again, in the same 4-story tower, MEP and interior studs have been going on each floor, progressing in each floor. Then on the 3rd-story tower, fireproofing will start in 2 weeks. The 3rd slab was poured out just recently. And then in the music gym area, CMU walls are ongoing. And so interior and exterior things are progressing at Colin Powell.
Thank you, Jose. Any questions on the construction activities related to the building?
Yes, Mary Downs here.
Yes, ma'am.
They're also tearing down more trees that are on the north side that started 2 days ago. Was that part of the issue that Mr. Lopez is dealing with?
If I can chime in, this was the trees that the last final trees back in a couple months ago. We were in process of demoing those trees, those last trees, but then we were shut down, so we had to stop all work. So they resumed this week, and that's it. There's no more trees coming down. These were the last ones. This is a couple months ago. That wasn't completed, and then there was a scheduling conflict. But yes, you're correct. They were there this week, and that's the final of it. There's no more. They finished the work.
And just to clarify,
Can I ask a question?
Just to clarify, those trees were part of the original plan to be removed as part of the permitting.
I disagree.
Yeah, I thought so. I agree with Henry. I didn't think that was part of that project either, because we had a hearing regarding that, and it seems like these trees were taken down after that hearing.
According to Inspector Brown, Inspector Brown, he told me yesterday that all of the removal of the trees there are in compliance with the permits and so forth. He and another person has said that there's been another construction plan since the original plan that we looked at and we met with Gilbane about and had all of our court dealings with the tree plan. they somehow went in and got another, supposedly got another, because I haven't been able to confirm this, got another tree plan and cutting plan. So if that's the case, I have not seen that new construction plan, and I'd like you to present it today in terms of feet from the middle of the street to the line of where you're supposed to cut you're cutting the trees down now. Where you're cutting the trees down now has up to a foot to 2 feet away from the wetlands. You're supposed to be 25 feet from the wetlands. The fence that protected the wetlands, a black barrier fence with white signs on it that say this is a protected area, do not damage this area, has been removed, and a bulldozer has gone right through there, right on up to the wetlands. And of course, that line of the bulldozer is going to be extended through to the gate on the north, which is full of trees. This doesn't make any sense unless you can tell me that the Maryland Board of Planning gave you a special exemption to come within 1 foot of the wetlands. I think somebody's made a mistake. And you can actually see the fence, the original fence that was made on the north side on Swan Creek Road. It goes down along the construction of the soccer field and then makes a right angle turn, comes out towards the street to protect the wetlands, and then goes back in after the wetlands are passed and goes then over to the gate. So I don't agree with that at all. And I don't think it's right. And I don't think you need that much room to have a street widened. And even if you thought you had, even if it was approved, there's still no barrier fence there as of 8 o'clock yesterday morning. Now, I haven't been there this morning, but yesterday at 8 o'clock, there was no barrier fence and no posting. Inspector Brown said that there is a fence there and everything is right. I don't think he's been there, or I think he's being obtuse or some type of I don't know what to say. It doesn't want to listen to the English that's implied with the barrier fence is not there. The pictures also show that. If you want to, I can show you a picture of it right now. So what do you have to say about that?
Well,
Hello?
Inspector Brown was on the site on Tuesday, following the rain that was occurred on Monday evening. There are sequences of construction activities that occur on a project where at some moments you're closer to.
Wait, excuse me, we got a lot of background noise.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
Oh, okay.
That's me.
Oh,
I'm trying to move away from it. Anyway, we can certainly show you plans that show how the sequence of construction is going. But as Mr. Brown, Inspector Brown told you, we are following the plans and we're in conformance with the plans as the construction is advancing. The revised plans.
Where are these plans? Can you show us the plans?
The revised, well, I don't have them with me on this call.
All right, if you're at a workplace, is anybody at a workplace today where they have access to the plans?
Well, I think probably so that we don't hijack the whole discussion here, I'd be more than happy to set up a time with you next week, invite you onto the project site, show you the construction drawings, and just if that would work, I can show you what the permit drawings show. I could do that on Tuesday or Thursday of next week.
How about today?
I'm in Sarasota, Florida today.
Okay, is there anyone who's
We could do
there
it
on site that's still working?
But yes, there is a full complement of people working on site, but you can't do that today. I want to be present for that. So I could do it on Tuesday.
Okay, so does Jason Washington have access to these plans?
We have the same, I don't have access immediately, Francis, and that's what I was going to reply to your email. We did not bring construction documents for the briefing today. I don't have access, and I've asked our team to look into it, but we don't have quick access to give them to you right now. So, and
What is the date of these? When were these construction plans approved? The ones you're working with that allow you, that you think allow you to cut down the wetland forest?
Mike, do you have that answer?
No, I don't have that information in front of me. But again, as I suggested, more than happy to accommodate. Have you come out, take a look at it, meet us.
By that time, the trees will be gone, sir.
How about we stop cutting right now until we see that paperwork?
We will continue. The plan is approved, as DPI has said. They have stated that that we are complying with the construction plan as provided. And so that is the authority that can stop us from proceeding. And they have stopped us in the past when we have not been in compliance. And so to the plans that have been approved, that's what we're operating on. And that's the directive that we have. And so we are not in a position to have Gilbane just stop if they are complying, and DPI is saying that they are complying with the construction plans as approved.
No, you do have the ability to stop. You waited for a long time to do this, and you always say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, when, and you stop and you go. So that statement is totally, what can I say, convenient. But
Francis, we have, and I believe that this is a genuine offer to walk you through what Gilbane's plan is on site. I know the request has been to have an opportunity to come on site. I recognize that it's not today, but we received your email 10 minutes ago or 20 minutes ago. So my apologies that we don't have this information readily available, but I believe that the opportunity to come, because I'm guessing that it's not just the trees that you would like to understand as it relates to the sequencing. And this opportunity is provided to speak clearly and right at Gilbane around their practices and their approach on the site. So I can't make them accommodate today at the last minute, but they've offered Tuesday.
okay, that still doesn't satisfy us.
Okay.
Doesn't satisfy us at all. And the approval or even the application for a different construction plan without notifying or discussing it with the homeowners association, all the people that have been bothering you or urging you to be good construction and stewards of the land, that I find that duplicitous. I find that deceptive.
So
Sneaky.
let me interject here. First of all, there was no
posting around around the site that said, okay, planning board is going to give what do you call it, a new approval or new plan, come to a meeting at so and so if you don't like it. Sure, go ahead.
Could I interrupt you for 1 second?
Sure.
You're under the misperception that we have submitted revised plans that have not been reviewed by the planning board. The only thing that has been revised is some stormwater management systems that were agreed to by DPI to deflect additional stormwater runoff off of the site. It's a modification of sediment and erosion control plans, not a modification of the building plans, not a modification of the permanent site improvements. That's all it is. So you're under a conception that there was some kind of massive change to the project, which is not the case. More than happy to show you what has been, what we're talking about on Tuesday at a reasonable period of time we can walk you through this, but there's been no miscommunication, surreptitious plan modification or anything.
Okay,
As
all right.
you
If that's the
even-
case, then I apologize. But that makes my argument even stronger because the original plans that we have scoured over show the wetland protected. And it shows the signs that are supposed to be placed. And it shows where the barrier fences
wetland-
are to be
the-
placed.
all of those conditions remain. None of the wetlands have been changed. None of the modifications impact that. What you don't understand is there's a sequence of operation that occurs during the construction of the project. There is one driveway that comes in off of Swan Creek that is very close to the wetlands, which is allowed by code and which was approved by Maryland, the Department of the Environment.
That's not on the plans. That's not on the plans.
It is on the plans, but you may not understand how that sequence of construction operates. And that's why I've offered to meet with you on Tuesday. Otherwise, this whole conversation is going to continue to be hijacked, and it's really not counterproductive.
If I could,
Go ahead.
something, if I could, Herb Jones here. What time would you be able to meet on Monday? And Francis, what time would be, I'm sorry, Tuesday, and what time would work for your schedule? What time will we be able to meet on Tuesday?
I can meet now.
I know that, Francis, but we can't do it now. But what would work with your schedule and the gentleman's schedule for Tuesday? In my
Whatever is convenient for them. It's not convenient for the trees or for the wetland, but go ahead.
Okay, so what time would that be, sir, on Tuesday?
Sorry about that. I was looking at my calendar. I could meet 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning.
Is there 9 o'clock? 9 o'clock. Is there any way we can move that to 10? I'm just asking. If not, that's
Yes.
fine. Can we?
Yeah,
move
we could meet at 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning.
Okay, so and can that be just Francis and anybody that's interested on this call?
Well, anybody if you come on site, so what we would do is meet at the construction entrance.
Right.
In order to come on to the site, you can come to you can drive to our trailer. But if you want to walk out on the site, we need to make sure that everybody has
hard
hats, work boots, and vests. So you can't be on the site with street shoes because there's too many dangers out there.
Okay.
And there is a waiver, but yes, we can accommodate, we don't want to, if you have 25 or 30 people out there.
Oh, no, it wouldn't be.
That's really going to be a challenge. If it's five, we can accommodate 5 people in our conference room pretty easily.
Okay.
A small group would be preferred.
Okay. Okay, that works. So no more than 5 people on Tuesday.
That'd be great.
At 10 a.m. Okay.
10 o'clock.
That works. Okay, so we'll do that. That's, Francis, I know that's not what you were shooting for. And let me just say this on the call. I and the community appreciate everything you've done, those pictures, et cetera, and keeping everybody on course. And these discussions are good. I think meeting at 10 on Tuesday is the direction we'll go for now. I know today would have been better. Absolutely. You're right. Between now and Tuesday, all the trees could be, and I understand that from the other callers on the call. Okay, thank you.
You understand that they could stop the cutting if they wanted to.
I clearly understand that, but again, as you heard Jason Washington, and I don't agree with it, but the fact is they have a permit that allows them, this all radiates from DPA. So maybe, our discussion is with DPA, what you just said, to talk to them since they're the permitting agency, would be my thought. Okay. All right.
Okay, Jason, can we move on?
Yeah. Jason, could you?
I'm muted. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So that brings us to the next. I know there have been questions around occupancy and when the school will be occupied. The delivery date, because of the additional surcharge activity that was performed on the site, and it required an additional 80+ days of surcharge. The school we will be moving in to the school on November 20th. 2023. And school operations will begin that Monday after Thanksgiving of 2023. The school will be for the rest of that fiscal year, it will be the students from Potomac Landing and Isaac Gordine, which will be roughly 1,000 students. So for the school year 23-24, there will be the school will be comprised of all of the students from Potomac Landing and the students from Isaac Gordine for the rest of that school year. And so I know that for sure. It's another, as you can see later on in the agenda, one of the other questions that came up was around boundary. That will be the final boundary, will be voted on by the board on Thursday, October 20, the last Thursday in the month. I think it's the 27th. So that is the date that the boundary for the whole district will be approved. At which point we will know the other zone students for Colin Powell Academy. So that's but under the plan that we have talked through and talked with pupil accounting is that the school should be no more, and they've told us that they don't anticipate the school being no more than 80% at capacity when the boundaries are done, which would leave the enrollment somewhere between 1,600 and 1,700 students. The goal is that this allows the school and gives the school room to grow and is not opened at capacity. So that's the what we've been told by pupil accounting. They are running the boundary. There are 3 options I've been told that the board will consider. And so that's what I have related to school occupancy, the number of students that are anticipated to be in the school, and when the school will be officially open. Yeah, so I will stop there. I'm sorry I bounced around, but it kind of all fit together. But that is the plan for the school immediately with school year 23-24. The following school year will be when all of the boundary takes effect for the area schools, and the school will be at its stated capacity at that point. And so the academic side is looking at I know there was some questions around principal and all of that. That's on the academic side. I don't have anything to add there. But that's the plan.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You said the school is going to be open November 20th, 2023.
Yes, ma'am.
And then full operations the Monday after Thanksgiving. That's for students being in the seats.
Yes, that's when, yeah, students. So the 20th is when we're going to move. So when all of the teachers, we will transition the school. We will probably start before then, but those will be the official. We're going to have movers and to move certain equipment and things into the school. Just so everybody is aware, and I'm learning about this, the school will have all new furniture and fixtures, etc. However, there are some equipment in both schools, if they were purchased with grant money or Title I money, that have to follow the students. And so that's type of equipment, we'll figure out what that is. That's what we will be moving into the school. And so it won't be, a massive move. It'll just basically be teachers bringing their personal belongings, or we moving them packing it and we moving it over. And then that Monday after Thanksgiving, the school will be up and running. So.
Okay, that was my question. You don't think it'd be best to just start in January because
I asked that.
Holidays, they're not going to be there long.
Yeah.
Why put the parents through that?
I asked the same
Let's
question.
wait till January and have a smooth opening, you know, everything on the, and it helps the community too. I mean, this
So
is
yeah.
season, then you got the buses and the school, all of this chaos. Let's have a smooth transition, please.
So Hazel, I asked the exact same question because to me that made most sense. What I was told was that
They don't care.
well, that we would not be able to I guess force or administrative staff or teachers for that matter would be willing to do this work during the holidays and no one would come and it would actually lead to chaos after the holidays. And so this is what the plan would be. The difference, quite honestly, is that the buses are actually, if they are any buses, those are the same routes that they're taking. So they're either taking Fort Washington or Swan Creek anyway. And so there's no redirection or changing necessarily of the routes. And so this makes it from a transportation standpoint feasible. And then as it relates to the students, it's, you know, they will be able to, you know, to move into the school. But I did ask that question because I was actually thinking that's what we would do, and was told no, starting after Thanksgiving.
Pardon me for interrupting. The teachers then give up their Thanksgiving to move their things in?
No, what would happen is that Monday and Tuesday, the teachers would pack their stuff and then we would move it. Like we will have a mover, and we've done it the last 2 summers. And so there will be a packing plan. Teachers will be told to bring personal items only, no furniture, no extra stuff. And then we would move that for them and place them into the rooms that have been identified.
Jason, Herb Jones here.
Yes, sir.
Would it be easier if we just put our hand up in the, would you want us to put our hand up or you want us to have a free flowing conversation?
No, put your hand up. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. I jumped around because the school occupancy tied to something else, but yes, please.
Yeah. So we'll do that after I ask my question. Put the hand up.
I don't have
so
I don't have any pictures.
Oh yeah. So the boundary meeting, Jason, is that meeting going to be? Is that open? Can we view?
Yes. As far as I know, yeah, it's a regular board meeting. I think you have to sign up if you have public comment a week before.
Okay. Is that something? Is there a notice out on this meeting that you can provide to us?
No, it would be regular board docs on the board. I can find it and I can send the link to everybody, but it's on the master calendar. So it would be.
Well, if you could do that, I know you have a lot on your plate. That would be very helpful because I think there's some folks on this call that would probably want to not only hear what's being said in terms of the boundaries, but also maybe weigh in on some recommendations. Okay.
Pardon me for interrupting, but when I hit the share screen, it says that it's been disabled by the host of this committee. So I cannot raise my hand because the only time I see pictures is on the side. What I see on the front of my screen is the agenda for the day.
Okay, in that case, we're going to give you a special waiver.
Mary, you don't have a button says reaction where you can raise your hand and do a smiley face and a
There's
heart?
a little smile. It's a smiley face reactions. Yeah, it's in the bottom of the page.
I can't see anything.
You can't see anything?
That's
So
okay.
I can pull it down.
There we go.
I can pull it down. That's totally
Dr.
fine.
Loris. We see some more
Thank
people.
So no, and to that end, and we want to have a dedicated construction town hall meeting just on construction activities. We have it tentatively planned for our meeting time next month at 9:30. I say tentatively because I may have a conflict. But we will confirm that shortly, but that will be open and more broadly open than just the Alliance. So before we go forward, I want to first ask, are you all okay seating this time next month for a community-wide construction town hall meeting? I guess that's the first question.
Yes, we in favor of that.
So we will be back shortly to confirm that. And then the next question on that one, we will come back and have a flyer for folks to sign up and send you all information. I see a hand, Tantalon North area.
Sorry, this is Dwayne Bowie. I meant to change the name. When you said community wide, talking about 9:30 a.m. on a Friday.
Yes.
Would it be, more visibility for people? It was like a 6 p.m. on any weeknight.
We can look at that. So that's a question for the group here. So.
Would that mean we have two meetings, a regular meeting, then the town hall meeting?
Or we can just have the town hall meeting, but I just want to make sure that, what time works best for as many people as possible. So I know that sometimes we've done them in the evening and it hasn't been helpful for folks because of other conflicts, but Dwayne makes a very good point. 9:30, most folks are, in some variation of work or commute or something. So any thoughts there? Regular weekdays, 6. I know we also ran into, Carter at various times that there were either meetings scheduled, regular scheduled community town meetings or town or citizens association meetings, etc. So I just that's why we kind of wanted to stick with the date or with the time that was locked, but
Jason, I have my hand up, I believe. Is it up? I'm sorry.
No, we don't see no hand up.
Oh, my hand's not up?
I'm not ignoring you. I didn't see a hand, so.
Oh, really? What about now?
Yeah, now I do. Yeah.
Okay, my apologies, operator error. So I think conceptually this is a good idea, but I would ask you, what is the timing behind this town hall meeting? Why are you thinking now? And when we have this town hall meeting, which is, if I understand you correctly, a broader meeting, it's probably going to be important that we have all the parties at this town hall, because this is the first town hall meeting. I'm talking about folks from the public school system and folks from Dr. Golston's office, because the amount of questions and the different vantage points will be coming in. So it's probably important on your part, you already know this, Jason, that we have all the parties, that's at this meeting, this big town hall meeting.
Yeah, well, that was not, so let me be clear. That was not the purpose of the meeting. Cause the purpose honestly was folks are seeing this school go up and what's going on. Like it's literally, and we're doing it for all of the other schools. So it's literally like these are the construction activities.
Okay.
So let me be clear. So that's why I can say right now, tell me a date, we can find a date, because it's me. so I'm not trying to coordinate with everybody else. If the request is, and I think, and let me be as honest as possible, I think the request should come from the Alliance to say we appreciate and we would like a broader school-based town hall. I can say it internally, but I think also having a request come from all of you will probably, and then we can coordinate I know like Director Cunningham, there was a question that was asked, and that's why he joined the call today. So it gives us a chance to kind of coordinate schedules and stuff. But I would say if that's the goal is for a broader one, that will probably take a little bit more time. This one is just like construction activities as are happening right now. So
okay, well,
so let me clarify. So if you all think that that's redundant, is not necessary, and it should be folded into something bigger, we can start working on that. But that's the purpose of that town hall.
So
my hand is up.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Sorry.
No, I'm just in favor of having it at the same time as this meeting and invite our constituents, and those who can make it, those who cannot make it, cannot make it. Because I don't want us to hold a meeting at night and we don't get the turnout that we expect. And then you put on the meeting night that none of the leaders can attend because we are extremely busy.
Well, my thought is not trying to go back and forth, that a 9:30 meeting many of us can make, but as I think about the broader community, I think, does a 9:30 work for them? Folks who have to go to work like yourself, Hazel, and others, or does a evening or even a weekend morning work better to maximize? If you were to have this meeting at 10 o'clock on a Saturday, as
Well, see,
Dwayne-
now I can't do 10 o'clock on the Saturday or the weekends rather, because I'm playing Uber. But you know, and taking
okay,
various
no, got it.
things. But no, I mean, look, we can look, that's why I picked this time. So it was like, look, I know I have you all, and you all will be who is vocalizing and pushing the message out to everyone. So that was the idea, was that, you know, we would have it now. I am not wedded at all. I just want to make sure that we had if we're offering it up for every other school community, that we make sure we do it here, and we don't assume that our briefings with the Alliance is sufficient. And so that's why I want to make sure.
Okay, well, let me ask this question, Jason. I thought these meetings, if I understand correctly, are open to anyone. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and I thought the outreach for this meeting is much broader. Now, on the town hall meetings you're talking about, will part of your team be responsible for the outreach?
Yeah, we have a flyer that we will send to everyone. There's an opportunity to register that, like, so that's why we just need to nail down the time. So we will, like, so that's why Brittany's here.
So what is the difference between what you just said and what we're doing now in terms
So
of
the Alliance, the recurring meeting is going to all of you, and you all are able to invite whoever, and y'all have to invite whoever. I don't extend that invitation outside of you all, because I want to make sure that it's our meeting with the Alliance. And so whoever you all want to invite and extend an invitation to, fine. The town hall, because of the fact that it is broader, we are putting together a flyer that we will send. We will send it out through the listserv that we have of people that have signed up for updates. That's the difference.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Sandra?
Hi, yeah, the town hall concept is a great idea. However, just to talk about the construction component, if that's what I'm understanding, the town hall would be, the agenda would be just the construction.
Yes, ma'am.
So I think there's going to be a lot of questions. Most people drive by there, can see the construction, they could care less, because they would have done something if they didn't. Most people do care that there are schools being built, because we do need new schools. The town hall, I think, should be a broader one that involves the entire community, because you're talking about safety. You got Uvalde situation. You've got all these schools that, you know, the shootings, and people have questions about the security at the school. How's that going to be handled? They're going to be wanting to know about the traffic. They're going to want to know about the staffing. I think it's going to be a broader, a lot of questions from folk that won't be there that could answer the questions that may come up from the community. So an evening meeting, maybe on a Friday, I don't know, 6, 7 o'clock would be better, so that it will afford more people the opportunity to find out not just about the construction, but moving forward.
Yeah. So how about this? I will go back and coordinate. So let me also be clear. This was not meant to like be the last time we brief or do a town hall or any type of broader community outreach. And that's not the intent. It was literally to make sure folks had an idea about construction. But to Sandra's point, recognizing that there are additional questions, that there are other things that I probably will be out of my depth to answer. Let me go back and see how quickly and what we can do. I would just say, and the reason why I was pushing to do it now is that we're doing the other town halls towards the end of September, and so I didn't want it to be so far behind everyone else, because I didn't want it to assume that, you know, we were not trying to provide that option. But, you know, let me go back and see what's possible. If folks think that that would be a better, not necessarily the time, I would say, but maybe, you know, just the scope and the focus of the meeting. And then we can come back and figure out a sufficient time for it. Sandra, I see you.
Yeah, so Jason, maybe, I'm not sure if the agenda that you pull together will just have, we will focus on XYZ, so they'll know, okay, we're not going to be talking about the world over here. We're just going to be talking about ABC at this town hall. And so you're kind of prepared as to who will be there, or at least those that plan to attend will kind of know what the agenda is going to address. And so maybe when you do have the town hall, around the time you're doing it with the other schools, and the questions that generate might lead to a bigger or another town hall down the road as an option.
Okay, no, and one of the big focuses is to make sure that we don't do a whole P3 town hall with all 6 schools together. That's not.
Oh no,
Yeah,
I totally agree.
No, that's not. And
Totally
so
agree.
I recognize, and I have folks that are supporting me that, you know, I'm committing them to 6 nights of town halls and everything. But it's important to update folks. And so, Sandra, I take that to heart. And as we put this agenda together, we'll be and I'll see who can participate. Like, and so there may be some other divisions that can come on. So I will reach out to transportation. We'll reach out to, and Director Cunningham is here now, security, to come back. I don't think he's prepared to talk about, like, you know, security specifics today. Maybe he is, but we can definitely build that into a future agenda to make sure that we address questions, and just so everybody knows, the security one has been top of mind after the unfortunate incidents over, or it's not even over the summer, is in May, and understanding that, and as we move forward as well. So all timely questions. And so I think what I'm hearing is that we keep this time, but put out an agenda as quickly as possible, along with information, so that folks are able to determine whether or not to participate. But we will have a recording of it as well. And then depending on I guess what comes out of that, the next steps for a larger town hall meeting. Does that make sense to everybody at this point?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Perfect. And so I want to be respectful of folks' time. I did expect this meeting to be a little longer than an hour, so hopefully I don't take up too much more of your time. On the agenda, we had just stormwater management update. Really, the update here is that the site was shut down, I believe, August 12th, I believe, and it was closed for a week. My first thing to say is that we failed, and it was unacceptable. The pictures and the conditions on the ground. We heard that from both the community and DPI, and we met with DPI after the closure and during the closure to ensure that, you know, we were adhering to their requirements, as well as to ask the question of what more can we do, and what more is there any additional things that we can be doing on the site. I can say this was a meeting that was sought by Gilbane. It wasn't like, you know, kicking and screaming. They wanted to meet because they wanted to make sure that they were doing what they could and accepted their responsibility for the failures of the erosion and sediment controls that were there. In the meeting with DPI, it was clear that they are going to hold us, you know, accountable, and will, and that's their right. We have to, that's who we report to, and that's who's responsible for ensuring that we are in compliance with the construction plans. We talked to the inspectors. They made it clear that, you know, as Mike alluded to earlier, when they hear complaints or get questions from the residents, if they haven't, if they are at the site or haven't been to the site, they will go to the site. They showed up the next morning to review the conditions on the ground that were raised by the community. They have also, there are 2 inspectors, I think one from DPI, one from sediment control, that I want to say are on the site multiple times a week. It is, I just want to be very clear, it is not our intent to not abide by the requirements and the necessary erosion and sediment controls that we need to. But we are, with that said, we are adhering to the plans that, you know, were approved and are required by DPI that we have in place. To that end, in that meeting, they requested and we accepted additional erosion and sediment controls. Also, we accelerated and Jose mentioned it earlier, the curb and gutter to start capturing the water before it leaves off of the west side of the site, which is that coming down that big incline onto Fort Washington. We are in the process of making sure that those plans are approved and signed off by our civil engineer, Stantec, that will be in place. This is what the inspectors looked at on Tuesday when they were out on the site. And when they said that everything was in compliance and the controls were sufficient. And so I just say that, you know, we are, our expectation is that this gets under control and as quickly as possible. It was a failure to do so, and that there's no excuse, nothing to say. It shouldn't have happened. It did, and Gil Bain, you know, spent a week putting things back in place and adding more controls. But we did have and reach out to DPI to ensure that, like, if there's anything else that they recommend that we do it. And we have adhered to their request and their comments and feedback as we move through this construction project. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew that was the next step. The site was closed for a week. That was the responsibility of Gil Bain to correct the deficiencies on the site. There's Ron Weiss asked a question. Do we being the citizens through PGCPS pay for that closure? And we do not. That's the responsibility of the contractor to be in compliance. And so I just want to make sure that we say that. With that said, I can say that DPI was very, I guess they've dealt with other developers that fight and claw and push back and say they disagree. So they were very appreciative of our approach and our response to it by accepting it, responsibility and correcting things on site. And so I just want to make sure that it's been a month since that happened, but I want to make sure that I said that and conveyed that to everybody. The next agenda item was traffic analysis. First question I have is, have you all seen the traffic study that was done?
The one that was done during the pandemic?
I don't know. I believe the date I have was that it was done earlier this year. I think it was, hold on. I can find
I
it.
had my hand up and it wasn't recognized.
I didn't hear you.
I
Francis?
said I had my hand up and was not recognized off the, with the previous topic.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't see a hand up. So please.
Okay, this just take a second. DPI was very, what can I say, kind to Gilbane. Over the course of about 10 months, there have been at least 9 or 10 erosion incidents, culminating in finally, after the 9th time, they closed the site down. Gilbane has admitted fault, but I have to say that they were treated so kindly that it just evolved into more and more erosion. The decision to completely denude the land and sell off the lumber way before any field was supposed to be planted for a soccer field exacerbated the runoff. That was a profit decision, a cost controls decision, and that was kind of shows what kind of management is going on with the construction site. I'm under the impression that there's a consulting engineering firm that helps with the hydraulics, the hydrology or the flow of water on site. And that consulting engineering firm has never been, we've never heard what they had to say. We know what Gilbane and DPI have to say, but why all that water was not controlled and the flow off of that land, that empty land, was not directed to holding ponds is an engineering error, simple engineering error. Water flows down, and any engineer, any laser beam, any surveyor can tell you where the water is going to go, but that was not followed. The placement of the school so close to Swan Creek mandated the construction of an artificial hill. That hill, that slant there where the water runs off, was never there. That's 30 feet up in the air of just planted or piled up dirt, piled up wet dirt. Wet dirt dries, shrinks, and then the school shrinks and the concrete slab is cracked, thereby eliminating, what is it? What's that gas? Radon gas can get into the school. So all I can say is that the engineering on this school, the plan has always been faulty. Even the positioning of the school towards the east and west. That means that half the school has a northern exposure. The kids never see the sun. Why wasn't it north and south? So the kids one class can get the sunrise, other class can get the sun on the sunset side and away from the streets. There's just a whole lot of weird plans here for the construction site. But of course, that was done probably without consultation with other entities. So I think that right now, there was an incident on Monday with the plans that have been put in place and approved by DPI. Still mud got into the gutters, and that was a light ring. Now that the embankment that was covered with straw and tried to be planted with grass has been bulldozed again. If another rain comes, we're going to get another incident. So I just want to say I'm disappointed, and all the cooperation and contriteness of the Gilbane Corporation does not suffice for continued behind the ball management of normal rainwater flow. Okay, that's all I got to say. I'm done.
Thank you, Francis. Appreciate it, and I definitely hear and understand the frustration, and yeah, Any other questions related to the stormwater management?
Jason, I just have,
Yeah.
I just have an observation, and I know this is difficult, you know, and I'm really fortunate to have you the project manager, but I also wanted to thank Mr. Francis, because when we first went down this road, the school board, the school superintendent, the CEO, county exec was aware of the ongoing flooding issues in our community. And to have, as Francis outlined, Gilbane, we have all of these issues going on. I think to myself, what would have happened if not for Mr. Francis taking these pictures? What would have been the scenario? I've often wondered, just talking out loud, and knowing in the front end that the community was always concerned about that location and flooding. That was the top of the list. We supported schools. We were concerned about the flooding. So you have to understand the optic, Jason, and your team. And that's why we have to constantly be watching, because we don't feel warm and fuzzy about Gilbane and their commitment to protecting the community and the environment. That's the optic, okay? So that's all I wanted to comment on.
Yep. And understood. And just to say, at the end of the day, I am the responsible party. And so that's why I want to make it clear that as things continue to happen, I will, and I hope that you all believe that I'm accessible and that you know that I actually will respond even when I'm not happy to, or it's not a nice discussion. But you know, look, these are things that, just honestly saying, should not have happened. Period. Like I don't need, you know, you to, or anybody to point out that the optics of this, it is not, and some things are self-inflicted for sure, and you know, and it does no good to say, oh, these are great lessons learned. It's better to not have lessons learned and not needed to be contrite because we, you know, did not have some of the things that have happened, but they have happened. And I think that it has helped us and our team to be very focused on, you know, ensuring that, you know, the things that need to be done are done and done properly and done quickly. And so I will, you know, continue to be here and continue for us to have these meetings to make sure that that information is conveyed both ways, and as we go forward.
Mr. Washington.
But Jason, hello.
Go ahead.
Jason,
Hello?
but this is Jamal. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Jamal.
Unfortunate that it's very unfortunate you are the responsible party, because I mean, and you're singling out yourself to be that individual, but really, I mean, you know, I haven't said much. I just been listening to the whole conversation, but really, we need those other individuals to be responsible as well, and they're just hiding behind the bushes right now. So that's my take.
I was going to say likewise that we're not blaming you, Jason. You're the messenger. You're just the point person.
Yep.
It's the county executive. She ultimately is responsible. Really. Okay, that's it.
Mr. Washington.
Yep.
Gilbane has told me in no uncertain words that they're too busy to give me the information, but maybe with your influence, can you please send the dates or the date of the approved construction plan?
Okay.
And can you send me text or email or whatever that construction plan? We have a construction plan that we worked on as a community, and as Herb was saying, we were there in a big meeting with everybody under the sun talking about flooding. So I want to know what are we talking about when they say everything's approved? I've seen that plan. I can read. So I need to know. I need to know what plan they're talking about. I need a copy of that plan. And if they are correct, then it's a DPI problem. But if they're not correct, which it could be because they have been not correct so many times. I need to see that plan.
And Francis, what I will send you, and we'll look to find is that ties right into flooding is the erosion and sediment control.
Okay.
And I think that's been updated. And I think that's what Mike was talking about earlier.
Right.
I think that's the plan that you're looking for.
Mike, and the construction plan,
Okay.
Both of them.
I think
not the building, but the one that goes about the whole site, soccer field, roads, wetlands, drainage areas, containment systems on the land, and catchment
And
ponds,
Francis,
all that kind of thing.
yeah, that's Francis, as I said, on Tuesday, we'll show you all those plans, and then we'll show you the evolution of drawings and the approvals. And that might be a lot easier than just sending you a list of dates of drawings. And
I
then
need the
then you'll
drawings
have,
and dates, and I need to be prepared before I meet with you. It's way too late to come in there and start looking at things that you're showing me. That's way too late.
Well, you wanted to meet today, so.
Well, I mean, but I can
and you
meet
wouldn't
today.
have had it today, so that wouldn't really.
Well, no,
I
you
think
would
that
have shown
argument
it
is
to me
curious.
today. You would have shown it to me today. But the thing is, and that was all to save the trees. So don't be sneaky here. I'm trying to say that I need that information, and I need that information to make sure that Gilbane is doing the right thing. Gilbane has already shown that it's duplicitous, and it is contrite now. But if your contrition is true, you would get me that information so we can make sure that everything is right. That's just normal. If you're sorry, but if you're not sorry, delay things and don't give information. But Mr. Washington, I need to talk to you. I need those plans and I need the date. Plans for the land, the street, wetlands, and then see if it's the same plan that we looked at as a community, 8 months ago. And if that's the case, then we can debate whether or not things are as they should be. Just remember, Inspector Brown has been very gentle with you all, has allowed and what can I say? He's basically let you slide on a lot of things until finally, not Mr. Brown, but the chief inspector, Mr. Monsey, had to step in. So there's something going on here that allows you to get away with things that shouldn't be done. And I think you should use your consulting firm that the government is paid for. You have a second engineering consulting firm. You should have a complete report and evaluation from them on your actions and your failures. But in the meantime, Mr. Washington, I can't expect Gilbane to cooperate too much, but I need those plans, and I need the date on that plan. That's all I got to say.
Francis, one quick question for you. What's the date of the plans that you're referring to that you reviewed? And,
okay, I sent those out.
Plans?
We sent them all out in early emails. Remember those?
I just wonder what the date is.
No, I'd have to go back through my email and get the date.
Yeah, if you could do that, because I think it would be very good for us to, on Tuesday when we go through the drawings, we'll start with that plan and we'll show you what approvals occur from that plan with the county, because the county, they do go through a series of review processes. So it'd be good to have that as a starting point, and we'll just walk you through each one of those things. Okay?
That's fine. That's
So
great.
if you
but
give
I
me
still
that
need-
starting date, I want to make sure I'm looking at the same thing. And I'll see if my consulting engineer is available to come, because he does do what's called site inspections on a regular basis. It's called construction administration. So he looks at our plans, he looks at how our progress is going. He does reports to make sure we're doing what we're supposed to do. And those are all in conjunction with what's on the drawings, any modifications that are needed because of needs and methods. So, there's a lot of, it's a very active process that involves the engineers throughout the whole sequence. So I'm sorry you think we're trying to pull the wool over somebody's eyes and are doing things that are not to plan or not genuine, but I know that this has been a hard project for the community, and all I can say is we're doing the best that we can, and we'll continue to do that.
Okay, I hear you. Thank you so much. But Mr. Washington, can you get that?
We will,
to me?
yes, I will work to get the plans. Like I said, I'm gonna have to refer to our advisors on the ground. I don't have them the access immediately, but we will get you what we have as quickly as possible, Francis.
All right, and thank you so much.
I just have a not necessarily a follow-up, but Mr. Francis has sent photos. And I have to ask this question directly to you, Jason.
Yes.
That water, that brown water that is sitting in that gutter, is there a stoppage in that gutter? You know what gutter I'm talking about along Fort Washington Road? What's going on with that? I call it a gutter, but it's probably called a sewer, that the water is not moving.
If it's that same, I don't know what the issue is. I know at one time DPW went out and cleaned all of those out and inspected them. So I think that's what we'd have to go back to see if there have been any additional issues there with that. Because I don't know if it's a storm drain. I know what you're talking about. I don't know what it's called, but
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening there. Yeah.
It's a gutter. It's just called a gutter. And
Okay.
it's not perfectly sloped. So there is sometimes there's a little bit of standing water in there. That's just the condition of that gutter. But our crews do go down there and make sure there's no debris clogging it on a regular basis.
Okay, so let me ask this question, Jason, because this is very important to me. If I brought this issue up many months ago.
Yep.
So we know for a fact that the appropriate government entity has been out there and has cleaned the sewer gutter that I'm talking about.
I can't say that they cleaned it. I said that they inspected it. Like they,
Okay,
so
okay,
I don't know.
sorry.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly what went
Okay.
into it.
Okay, so they have inspected it
Yeah.
and deemed it clear. That's my assumption. Based on
That's what we heard from what's his name from DPW not Stan. He was doing the work, the connecting work behind the golf course. What was his whatever his name.
I know you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
So now when we are ready, we're going to connect into that to go across. And I don't know if that connection work has been done yet. But that's, I think that's a question for DPW, and maybe we ask it on Wednesday to them is around that.
Because
just
again,
clarify exactly what was done.
I think that connection's been made. It was made last month.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm not an engineer, but as I roll by there myself, as I look at the other gutters and how they operate, water is flowing. That water is stagnant, and that concerns me. So I want to make sure for the record, you hear what I'm saying to you, Jason?
Yeah, no,
That
and
water
I
is
think
stagnant.
no,
Okay,
and
it is
I
not moving.
think we bring it up to see
Okay.
exactly but I know that we were told at the infrastructure meeting that they went around and I remember that conversation. So I don't know exactly what happened, but we can ask them to confirm that. And it goes right into the next piece, because I want to make sure, like with the traffic analysis, I can send to everybody the traffic study that was done. I can't, Ms. Downs, I can't confirm whether or not it was done during COVID or not. I don't know. So I just have the copy of the report.
The one that we saw, the one that I saw that I based my speeches on was taken during COVID.
Okay. And so I will send the group it may be the same one. But I will make sure I send that traffic study that I have to everyone here. We have asked, and I know it came up in the infrastructure meeting about plans for additional traffic studies and what DPW was planning to do. We were told that they do not see the need to do any more traffic analysis until the school is operational. And they are able to see if any particular patterns are demonstrated, at which point. And so I know that was conveyed previously during one of the infrastructure meetings, but but we have asked, we have asked what the plan is, what the process is, what, how that is taken into account, but that will be handled by DPW and T. So as it relates to the impact there. Mr. Cunningham, Director Cunningham, I'm sorry.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to jump in here at this point. Two things. One, Ron Weiss asked me to come on and talk specifically about concerns regarding the crossing guards. Crossing guards are handled by the police department. I have reached out to them, made them aware of the concerns, and they said that they will do an analysis to determine whether or not they have adequate staffing there. The other thing, in addition to the Department of Public Works and Transportation doing a traffic analysis, we have a safety officer that's assigned to my office. If there are additional concerns regarding safety, he will go out in conjunction with Department of Public Works and Transportation to take a look at what's going on at the school and make necessary adjustments as we see fit. So we will be involved in that process as we look at the traffic study and determine if there are any additional things that we can do and if anything else that the county may need to do. And I apologize, I have to go to another meeting, but I just want to make sure I got that brought into you all. If there are any questions, please feel free to go through Jason and give me the next meeting date. I'll plan to attend.
Thank you, sir.
Jason, if I can, if my hand thing is not working, I don't know what's going on. And
Yeah. You just,
yeah, I mean that really, because you know I'm tedious about protocol, but I do not agree with waiting until the school is built to do a traffic study. I want to be very clear about this. Given the fact that you and I have talked about this area being landlocked, traffic on 210, we got new roads, etc., and we have 35 to 40 buses coming into our area, as well as Mr. Reed has mentioned to me several occasions, folks dropping off their kids. That is so after the fact. And I wanted to report to the group that Councilmember Barrows has submitted a letter to Mr. Holt asking for a new traffic study that needs to be done that reflects the real activity based on the other one that was done during the pandemic. To wait till the school is built, to me, defies logic, at least from where I sit. Okay, we have some variables that we know about. We know the number of kids, we know the buses. You can do an analysis of the number of cars. You can make an assessment of what you're going to need. So when that school is built, we lessen the impact to the surrounding community. I don't understand that thinking. Yeah. So I just wanted everybody to know that Barrow's office has sent a letter as outlined by Mr. Holt to him asking for a new traffic study.
I want to second that, saying two things. Number one, that's kind of like closing the barn door after the horse is out.
Right.
But as an example, I take the same route every day as I have through the pandemic. What I was taking me 18 minutes to get down Fort Washington onto Indian Head is now taking me up to 45 minutes. You can't tell me that adding 40 buses and what you said in the traffic study I read, 300 parents, you cannot tell me that that's not going to affect the community. And we better find out beforehand, because that goes to the next issue, which is Potomac Landing and what to do with it. So when we talk about Potomac Landing, I'll tell you my idea.
Okay, doke. I have a hand raised.
This is Jamal.
Jamal, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I can't implement my name in this
Oh,
thing for some reason.
I can change it. I'm sorry, man.
Okay, yeah, but I concur with Mr. Jones and Mrs. Downs as well with that same situation. But just for my analysis, I know around at the circle on Swan Creek that students are being picked up at the bus route right there on buses going to Friendly High School at like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning right there. That's a safety issue too, because students are in danger just being at that circle every morning. And also students, are being picked up for Akakeek at the corner of Fort Washington Road and Autumnwood Drive. And that's around maybe between about 8 o'clock or something like that. Then you have Oxon Hill High School buses coming in around 9 o'clock. So we got buses going in and out of here from between 6 and 9. So what is the proposed time that when the school opens up? What is their start time? Because it's just going to be it's just too chaotic at that circle every day. As Mrs. Down stated, it takes you a while just to get to 210. So that analysis really needs to be run be way before the school is built. It was completed. So what is the start? Do you know the start time of that?
I don't know. It's really going to be driven by transportation. And so that's going to be the next phase of this is transportation to your point, Jamal, of coordinating the buses to ensure that, there's, enough bus coverage. But I think we all recognize that there's a tremendous shortage of buses. So, so that's where it will be determined. But we can definitely see how what happens with the letter that's been submitted by Councilman Burrows. I can say his office did reach out and requested the traffic study that was previously performed, and so so we passed it along, and I'm guessing that was the next step that was taken. So,
do they have a start time for the school? Are they going to start at 8 o'clock, 8:30?
I don't know. I think that's the next step now that we've identified the occupancy is the next step is for transportation. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Thanks.
Hazel.
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly say that in addition to the circle, the problem with the traffic on the regular terrible traffic on the other end of Swan Creek, where the bridge is. It's going to be a bottleneck. Tell me when it started raining, it started flooding, they're not going to get through that, not the buses. So we got two bottlenecks, the circle and the bridge down Swan Creek going towards Safeway. So that's why we need a traffic analysis done this year in time so we can put things in place to alleviate the problems that we know are going to happen. Because you know what, Jason? We live here.
Yeah.
We know already. Thank you.
No problem. And look, as I've said, we have carried that request back. That was our initial answer. That the councilman is of higher stature than myself. So we will now that that's been I'm guessing DCAO Holt will discuss this on Wednesday at our or it will come up in the infrastructure meeting on Wednesday. The next thing, because I want to make sure we get done at 11, but I'll be a little late for it. The disposition of Potomac Landing, that site will be surplus back to the county. There's no use as part of the talk to Director Matlock from CIP. Because this is where it works. If we don't have a use for it, we have to surplus it back to the county. That is the plan for Potomac Landing. So it will be up to the county to decide the plans for the school going forward. Once the school is vacated, we will start that surplus process that gives the county the right to determine the next steps and how they want to utilize that site. I don't know if that also involves MNC PPC, since they have the land on one side and the rec center there or some use in this space as well. But that's what I've been told is the plan for Potomac Landing, is to go through the formal surplusing of school property back. Just so everybody is clear, all of the property is held in trust by the Board of Education on behalf of the county. So ultimately it's all still county land. So, but there's a process to surplus it back to the county. So I don't know if I can answer anything related to what the plans are. I don't know. I just know that that's the school system's plan, is that there's no identified use for the school. And so it will be surplus back over to the county.
So Jason, let me ask you a question. So in terms of what you just said, any communication regarding what the community may think would be a good use of the school should be going to Alsabrook and Dr. Golston? I want to be clear about this.
No, it should be going to the count. So I'm guessing it should be going to your county councilman. at this, like if that's the plan, is that it's going back to the county is I don't want to say responsible too, but the governance body of the county is the council. So I would suspect that they would be part of the discussion on any planned future use of the facility. I may be wrong with that, but I think that that's where I would start.
Because I'm thinking surplus property belonging to the county and go to the county exec's office. That's why
Yeah,
I'm asking.
but she would have to put together a plan, and I'm guessing she would be asking the representatives if they have thoughts for plan for extra space in that district.
Okay.
Okay,
got it.
I don't know for sure, but I would think that's where it would start. Miss Downs, I know that you had a question about or some suggestions about the disposition, but I want to make sure if you had any other questions for me.
Well, I guess I'll be asking the county.
Yeah. So I was told that literally yesterday because I asked the question what the plan was, if we had any updated plan.
I do have one comment though.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe you don't want to give it back to the county. Maybe you want to keep it as a staging area for cars to be parked while they're waiting to come around to the school, since there's no room on Swan Creek or Fort Washington. And I use it as an example as I go down by Ferguson and Burroughs, the number of cars that are out on their verge, and they have a lot more parking area than we do. And according to the records that I saw in that the report on traffic, they were talking about 300 parents' cars coming in. If that's the case, maybe you should be keeping that land as a parking space, and we could have, just like at construction sites, they'll have a stop sign and a go sign. You could have one at the school, one at Potomac Landing, telling when parents could come in.
I will take that back. That's going to be an operational question with transportation, I'm guessing, and CIP. But I will definitely take that back to the group. I don't know how long this surplus. Everything takes. I don't want to say that. Everything takes some time with government. I don't. Yeah. So yeah. So I will definitely take this back and see what the response is and thought is around that. The final thing I want to make everybody aware of is that all of the schools will be, and I know this is tied into the electric buses. I know there was a meeting with Dr. Golson around the schools move towards electric buses. I can say we've ordered a couple. They are late. I want to say over a year late at this point, but we have some grant money and we use them to purchase a couple. We have the school will be solar ready and have EV charging capability, infrastructure in place. We are currently investigating like solar capability on the school and what those options are for us as well. As it relates to the electric buses, in general, I know that conversations have been had around the necessary infrastructure updates needed. The fleet will eventually move towards electric. It just depends on how quickly that happens. But there needs to the conversation around infrastructure and retrofitting the lots to accommodate the electric buses. I can say for all of us that are taking a look at where Montgomery County is, I think they bought 40 buses last year. I don't believe that they've gotten more than half of them thus far, and they had to make another purchase this year of diesel buses because of the lack of getting the electric buses in. But it's just informative for us, but that's the plan. I can't speak to when as relates to electric buses but I know that we have a climate action change plan that Dr. Golson has I'm on a few work groups, has made it clear that we will implement. And so that's part of it, I know. But that's as it relates to sustainability and electric vehicles and all of that, that's where we are. I just want to make it clear that, you know, should we have electric buses, or, you know, when that is the case, we will have some capacity at the school for charging, and the infrastructure in place to put those facilities in. And yes, ma'am.
Just one final question. Does the school board have a policy on how many hours or minutes a child could be kept on the bus going to and from school?
I am not aware. I don't know. I don't know.
So Jason, are they surplus in Isaac Gordine School too?
My understanding, I have not heard anything, but I believe that the plan that CIP has is that if we have no use for it, we would demo the site, make it green space, and then, you know, so that for future use, or if it can be utilized for a park or anything of that sort, because part of the weight on the school's budget, the school system's budget is maintenance of a lot of old buildings. And so if we kept them up with no identified use, we would still have to, you know, provide the maintenance, et cetera. So I don't know for sure that that's the plan, but that's the road, that's the direction the CIP is going in at the behest of the state, to address our facility conditions index, which is very low. So
just two very quick points. The Mr. Cunningham and Mr. Hughes, I believe, are on the call.
Mr. Cunningham had to drop. Mr. Hughes
Right.
still here.
So,
Yep.
so the issue regarding school safety plan, given what has just occurred throughout our country, et cetera, and the need to really take a look at that, but more importantly, Jason, just to put on the agenda, the requirement of tabletop exercises, because this is, I think Mary Downs may have mentioned this to me. You know, we have school safety, and because of the proximity to school, we have the community safety. So they're two in one. You have the school safety, community safety. We're landlocked to a certain degree. So unfortunately, the Colin Powell Academy, to people trying to do negative things, is ideal. So that safety plan is critical. What I'm saying to you, that safety plan is not something just in a binder. Okay, the tabletop exercises with different scenarios has to be brought in. The communication plan, critical. So I'm hoping that as a result of what has happened currently, that plan has been altered, it's been looked at, because it is vital, just like the transportation plan, or even more so for protection of the kids and the parents and the staff, and also the surrounding community.
I can say as it relates to the construction part of that, yes, that is would be a question for Director Cunningham, and he has mentioned that they are reviewing all of the security procedures and things of that nature. I can say also, which was shocking and jolting, is that we've had conversations with Homeland Security, police, SWAT, etc. They asked about the capacity of the roof to land a helicopter if they need to. They've asked, we've communicated around access to the building, should there be active shooter. We have the door hardware in all of the classrooms require and have one-stop locks, so that it's you're unable to access them from outside the doors or the corridors. Also, a change that we've executed, an owner-directed change, is the fencing. There were places where we thought that it was not necessary for fencing, because we want to make sure that the school is inviting, etc. But that has changed, is that we are putting in fencing that directs all visitors to the secured vestibules. And we also have went back and looked at the cameras and the placement of the cameras around the exterior of the buildings and the lighting around the exterior of the buildings to ensure that, you know, there is that we're at a secure posture. from just those site points of view. But as it relates to operational, I can't speak to what that looks like, but I can say that after sitting in a 2-hour meeting about, you know, hostage negotiations and being able to rappel off the top of buildings and helicopter and all of that other stuff, that it is not something that's taken lightly with throughout the county. Like, you know, so I never met Homeland Security, but we met them that day. That is, I just want to be clear that those conversations began a long time before we started building the schools, and I suspect that they are still continuing. We're just not privy to them. But I can definitely, Director Cunningham said if we give him the date, he can come back. So maybe we can ask for a presentation from him on that plan and how they are utilizing, you know, or active shooter and yeah, the things unfortunately that we now have to talk about. So
Thank you.
so with that, I wanted to say it's good to see everybody again. Thank you so much for the questions, for the feedback, for the concerns. You know, we appreciate it. I appreciate, you know, seeing you all once a month and well, twice a month, because I think we start up infrastructure meetings next week. But if there are any questions or anything, please let me know. Francis, I have your request, and so we'll move to get that information to you. I will also to the group send the traffic plans. I think y'all already have it, but just make sure that, you know, I show you what we have. And then when we nail down the date for the construction town hall, we'll make sure we get those flyers out to everybody as quickly as possible.
And then Jason, also the Prince George's County boundary.
Oh yeah, the link
When
to
that's
the
going to occur, so we can
to the board meeting.
right to weigh in on that.
Yep.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
All right, well, thank you all. Have a great weekend. No humidity, I think, so it should be good. But I will talk with you all later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.